So I'm a 23-year-old female. This happened when I was 15 years old. It was February 2017 and I got a friend request and I accepted it. It was from this guy from Serbia. Martin was the name he used. He had started talking to me and we quickly had started talking every day, just as friends though. But then later on, he told me he loves me and I also started developing feelings for him. So I told him I loved him too. I was so in love with him that I was blind to all of the red flags that he was showing me. He never wanted me to tell anything to my parents. He also didn't seem very happy when he realized I told my parents something as simple as being in a relationship. After a year, it's 2018 at this point, his behavior towards me suddenly changes. He went from being nice and funny to calling me a whore, accusing me of cheating on him. I have never done any of that. I cried and kept repeating that I didn't cheat on him and I'd never do that. Mind you, we're still talking over a video call. I lived in Germany and he lived in Serbia, but he started talking to me, probably because I'm originally from Bosnia and Herzegovina and because I was young, too dumb to know better. And at one point when he had started trusting me again, after his paranoid phase that I've mentioned went away, he said that he wants to propose to me and marry me. I said yes. I was so happy because I truly loved him and I wanted to be his wife. However, I knew there was a problem, and it was my parents. I was 16 and I wanted to move and get married. Of course, they wouldn't let me, so he made a deal that he's going to get me a van transportation to Serbia. That's what we did. On the day before I was supposed to flee, he told me to not bring a lot of clothes because he'll buy me all the clothes I need when I get to Serbia. Now, of course, looking back, this was a humongous red flag. But back in the day, I thought it was nice because all he cared about is me and everything else including clothes came second. I also packed my wallet along with my charger, phone, and passport. I snuck out of my house at 3:28 a.m. My mom was asleep. I couldn't get a hold of my shoes because they were in a separate room that had this door that makes a loud scraping noise as it rubs against the wood. So I put on my slippers and left the door slightly ajar, because if I closed it, it would make that rubbing noise and my mom would probably wake up. I got in a van that was near the hotel, which was 10 meters from my house. After 15 minutes, the driver got out, I greeted him, and I got in the van. We started driving and picking up other people. At 8-something a.m., my mom called me and asked me where I was, and I lied to her and said that I was at a store just buying things. She told me to send her my location, and I knew that she knew I was trying to flee. I hung up because I knew if I answered the phone, she could probably track my call, so I always let the phone ring without answering. She called the police, and she also called my dad. They've been separated since 2003 and divorced since 2007, so he lived in a completely different city an hour and a half away from her. He was on his way to his friend's house to return a vacuum, so he immediately rang the doorbell and told his friend to just take everything because he's in a rush. His friend asked why he was in a rush, and he said it's because his daughter ran away. The friend gathered all of his guns, put them in the truck, and they made themselves on their way to Serbia. My mom called my boyfriend and asked him where I was, and we actually made up the story of me and him breaking up so she'd believe I'm just somewhere in a park drunk and drinking away my pain. In order to somewhat prove that claim to her, I'd started slurring my texts and misspelling words on purpose just so that she would think I was really drunk. Obviously, she didn't believe it, but she went around and searched every park just on the off chance that I'm there. She asked him again where I was, and he said he didn't know because I never told him. Then she called one of her cousins. He's a special story. He knows a lot of people, especially criminals. He told her to mention some guy called Nanad Crutches. Yes, the things that help you walk. And that's when he said there was no need for violence, and he immediately told her that I'm in a van and on my way to Serbia. My mom at one point texted me and told me she's just going to talk. She doesn't need me to say anything. She just wants me to answer the phone and listen to what she says. I did, and she then convinced me to give the phone to the driver. I said that I can't do that right now because he's driving. I told her I'll give it to him when he makes a stop, so I did. I called her when we made a stop, and she told me to give my phone to the driver. He answered the phone, and I don't know what she told him because it wasn't on speaker, but she definitely told him I was underage, that I had epilepsy. That is true. I've had it since the age of 12, and that she had already called the police, gave them my information so that they could immediately contact the border control, letting them know that they should arrest anyone with my passport and not let them through. The driver then realized there's no way out if he takes me with him. Then he started negotiating where to drop me off so someone could pick me up. He never wanted to drop me off somewhere where you had a lot of police. That should have also been a red flag, but it wasn't. He decided to drop me off somewhere next to some fast food place. I got off, he left. Then when I was next to some sushi place, I called my dad and told him where I was. He told me to turn on my location, and I did. Then he told me to wait outside because he'll call the police to get me. After about 10 or 15 minutes, 2 officers came up to me and told me to follow them to the car. I did. They drove me to the station and searched me and my bag. At one point, I almost got into a fight with one of them because she was messing with my bra and moving it. Luckily, they both decided I was clean. They put me in this holding cell. I had a bed, a metal toilet, and a sink. They also gave me a blanket and told me what button to press if I needed something. I fell asleep, and then after some time, one of them came and woke me up and told me that my dad was here to pick me up. So I got up and she led me to the office where my dad was along with his friend talking to the chief. He took my passport. I then got in the car with him and his best friend. He seemed very relaxed, and he even answered in a funny, goofy voice when I called him. That's how I knew he was absolutely pissed. His friend got to his house, then my dad got out of his car and told me to get in his car. I did. He got in and he took me to his house so he could sleep a little bit. His wife came while I was sitting in the living room and she asked me why I did it, that I could have been kidnapped and killed, that or sold to the human trafficking ring. Then she also told me that she would have killed her daughter if she tried the same. After about an hour or two, my dad woke up and they both greeted him with good morning. I said the same, but he just looked at me all pissed without saying anything to me. He then got ready and he told me to get up. We walked to his car. Mind you, he's not talking to me. He only talks when he has to. I got in, and then about halfway through the drive to my mom's house, he told me that I'm lucky that my mom called and specifically told him not to do anything to me. She said she knew I would have escaped again if he tried intimidating me, because then he said that he would have kicked me repeatedly with his legs until I couldn't get up. I didn't say anything. He drove me back to my mom's house. She didn't really say anything either. She was just happy I was back. Then 2019 came. This is when we were arguing nonstop. Yes, we kept talking. My dad at one point took away my phone, so then I couldn't talk to my boyfriend anymore. Well, I had saved up some money and bought myself a new one. I remember in Bosnia visiting my relatives, and I told him to come to Bosnia to see me. I said that if he doesn't do it, I'd leave him. I gave him 24 hours. I was in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and he was in Serbia. The drive from his town to mine would have lasted about 4 hours, so he could have come like 6 times. The next day, I was getting ready to hit the city, so I texted him and asked him if he's at the pizza parlor I told him to be at. He said he has bad news. I didn't care to listen. I said it's a yes or no question. After some time, he said no. So I told him, okay, we're done. I hung up the phone, blocked him, and that's how my love saga ended. But it wasn't the last time I'd heard from him. After 3 months, I've heard from someone that he's accused for the organized kidnapping, torture, and murder of a girl who was also 17 at the time. This took place that was 2 hours away from where my relatives in Bosnia lived. The case was gruesome. I heard she was found in a sewer. Then after the medical examiner performed the autopsy, he said that she was so beaten to the point her shoulder was dislocated, and that she had also been repeatedly penetrated by glass bottles. 2 years later, 2021 rolls around, and he made a new profile on Instagram and texted me. I didn't answer. Then 2 years later, 2023 rolled around, and again he made a new profile and texted me on Facebook. I couldn't see what it was because he had deleted the text right after sending them. Then months later, he started texting me again. 2024, he kept texting me. Even now in 2025, he still hasn't stopped. He's still texting me and he's still trying to find me. Luckily, I've moved to a whole different place in Germany. I'm also enrolled in medical school. However, this did mess me up a little. I'm heavily opposed to any type of emotional connection or dating. I'm opposed to anything that involves trust because I just have issues with trusting people. I've seen the worst they're capable of when you trust them. So now I don't want to put myself in that situation by trusting anyone. I've been single for 6 years, and I see myself not finding anyone anytime soon. I have a message for everyone. Be very careful. Don't lose your logical thinking just because you've happened to fall in love. Love is no longer what it used to be. Now it's used as a weapon.